Hello there, welcome to the Love School USA
And we are back. We've been out a little, right? And it was still
hoping
home.
that the quarantine would end, right? But
yeah, we're still home. We're still not in our studios, and so we decided, you know what? Let's continue doing our program from home anyway, because this is taking a longer than we thought it would.
yeah, and we've been putting together for you a collection of funny videos by couples during this quarantine. Let's watch.
We've been quarantined, that is where we are. Locked up in our houses, can't even drive a car. Stay away from me, I don't want your germs or to call from each other. 6 feet away from another.
All right, honey. Yes, we can talk. Yep. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Wow, she said all that, huh? She didn't say that. I can't believe she didn't say that. Yeah, no, I'm listening. Yeah, that's great. Actually, just excuse me for 1 sec. Yeah, just give me 1 sec. Yeah, 1 second here.
Hey, I'm bored. Baby, I'm bored.
I'm working.
I'm bored.
I'm working.
Sweetie, please, can we do something?
I'm working.
Baby, please. I'm bored. Give me a kiss.
Stuck on you. I got this feeling down deep in my soul that I just can't lose. Guess I'm on my way.
Center. Hey, babe. Hold on, guys. Lish is on my shoulders. What's going on? Jesus Christ!
oh, I fear for that guy's back. I hope he's okay.
And it's nice that people are having fun during the quarantine, but we'd like to help people who are not having fun, right, Renato? Because a lot of people are having a hard time staying at home and enjoying this moment. You know, maybe in the beginning they thought, you know, we're here on vacation, some days off from school, from work, but now it's been quite a while inside the home. So we want to talk to these people. I mean, what do we do if we don't have that sense of humor like these people all the time? How can we manage the atmosphere at home?
Yeah, I don't know about all the time. I mean, people always have their tensions as well. Even the funniest couples have their tense moments. But it's important that you see humor as a tool to deal with the stresses of life. Just like a car needs the pressure of the engine, just like a pressure cooker needs the pressure off, and a lot of other machines, human beings also need an escape from their stress. And humor is one of those tools for you to let out the stress of your life. And couples that are just too serious about everything, or that let stress get the most out of them, the worst out of them, it's very bad for the relationship, obviously. And what couples need to do in order to find the humor is to, first of all, put a rule in place, Cristiane, that not everything merits the seriousness of a long face, the seriousness of an argument or a fight. Life can be taken lightly in most situations. It's very rare that you have to really face a difficult, hard situation. For example, in this lockdown, a lot of people are afraid of the virus and had cases in their families, even death. Of course, that's not funny at all. But unless you're facing something like that, then there's no reason for you to be serious all the time and arguing about a problem all the time, because that's only gonna make the stress mount and bring other problems to the relationship.
Yeah, I find it that it's very common for people who are very focused on the things they have to do, the things all organized, like the house. You know, the woman wants the house clean and tidy and everything. And sometimes she's so focused on that she loses track of this humor that is needed in the house, because she's so focused on the glass that is out of place and the cooking that, you know, because these days people are at home and they're eating more and they want more cook. The kids, when they want to eat all the time, and so you have to cook more and you have to clean more and stuff. So if you focus too much on the cleaning and the cooking, you're going to be stressed, and it's going to be hard for you to make this time nice. So sometimes you need to be, you know, a little bit flexible with the things that you like in order. You know, the focusing on the house, on the cleaning, you know, on everything. Sometimes you just have to let go. You know, just, you know, oh, okay, you know, what if the glass is out of place? What if I couldn't clean the house like I wanted today? You know, have this flexibility is very good for you to keep this peace at home. And another thing, Renato, is, you know, sometimes we have to make fun of our own ways of dealing with stress. One thing that I'd like to share with our viewers today is one thing that we do a lot. I don't know if you do this a lot, but we do this a lot. We sigh. We sigh a lot. Morning, afternoon, night.
That's one way of letting the pressure
You know,
out.
it's just good. So we started making fun
So
of
easy
each
and
other.
simple.
You know, oh, there you go again. There's a sigh. So this helps us deal with the stress that we have at home. You know, just sigh and laugh at it. Don't, you know, sometimes you get the bad news, you receive a bad news, and you tend to feel obligated to be very upset about it. Like everybody expects you to be very upset about it. And of course you can be upset, you're supposed to be upset, but you don't have to be this very difficult person to live with, right? Because that's what makes it very hard during this quarantine, to live at peace with each other, because you're too focused on the problem, you're too focused on the bad news, you're too focused on the organization in the house, and you just forget that, you know, sometimes you're just being very difficult to live with.
Yeah, one of the secrets of happiness is for you not to make a big deal out of small things, right? You need to take things lightly. Of course, not serious issues, as I said. Serious issues need serious attitudes. But what is so serious about your life every minute of every hour of every day, right? There isn't much very serious. There isn't much that requires you to be so, you know, focused and structured. And when you look at it, you see that not everything merits a long face and a serious environment around you. So take that tip and apply some humor. bring some reason to laugh in your relationship, in your home. Okay? Now, when things are going bad, Cristiane, we really need to tackle problems that are serious, like Jean and Christine were facing, the couple that we are going to meet right now. We were able to help this couple when they came to us a few years ago, having serious problems and ready to divorce. Let's watch their story.
When I was growing up, I was blessed the fact that my mom and dad were together.
My parents always fought. My dad would go to the bars, and that eventually led to him having affairs on my mom.
Social media came around, and a friend of mine set up a social media account.
I don't think I went on there looking for somebody to marry, somebody to even date. It was just a friend, just somebody to hang out with, somebody that his profile looked interesting. So I was like, okay, I'll message him. And that's how that
And I have no clue what the profile even said. My friend set it up for me. So, I mean, I have no clue what he put on there. He just said, I'm gonna make it sound good. I was like, all right, man, make it sound good. So we met at a gas station. So we were both kind of scared at first.
I was really scared. I also had my out. I called my mom and I'm like, look, this is his license plate. This is the company he works for. This is the area that we work in, he works in, and just kind of gave her everything I knew in the matter of a 5-minute drive.
So within 2 weeks, I mean, we had already, I had moved in with her out of her parents' house.
And then shortly after that, we moved out and got our own place. Well, he was always working, and I felt like he didn't care for me. He didn't give me the attention that I thought I needed.
What she didn't realize was the fact that because of me working as much as I was working, that's why she was able to stay home. That's why she was able to spend time with the kids. She was able to go to school, was the fact because I had the burden on my shoulders. So, next thing I find out, my wife was getting more phone calls and more text messages than I was, and I had the company phones on my cell phone at that time. There's no way she should be able to receive and make more phone calls than I was making a month. I would confront her about it, and she would play it off. Oh no, I'm not doing nothing. That's people from school, or that's, whatever the case was that she wanted to say. When I did come to the apartment, my wife didn't want to have nothing to do with me. And her phone would start ringing at different times when I was there. She would grab her phone and leave, go to a completely different room. By then, I knew she was talking to at least one guy at that time. I asked her, I was like, why? Why are you talking to somebody? Well, you're never home.
The one main memory that I remembered was being in that hallway and, just hearing the words out of my mom's mouth. We're on the phone with the lawyer and we're about to get a divorce. Just hearing that, it hurt me.
And my mom and my dad were yelling in the hallway, screaming and fighting and banging on the walls. And I was so scared. I was shaking, I was nervous, I was crying, my sister was crying. We both looked at each other.
So we went and seen a female counselor. And we went to a couple of sessions. Well, I remember the last session, we're sitting there, and the female counselor looked at me and says, look, it's not your wife who has the problem, it's you. And I said, excuse me? And she said, yeah, you're the one that's got the problem. And of course, me and that counselor there, we start to argue a little bit, and she straight tells me that I'm the one paying her. She's not paying me for my issue, for my problems. We go back to the apartment, and my wife's real quiet. And my wife's like, I don't blame you for acting the way you did. And I told her, I said, I just don't know what to do. I said, we tried. She goes, look, we'll go again, and this time we'll talk to a guy. And I said, are you sure you want to do that? And she says, yes, I'll do it.
So then the guy took over, and it was on his side now. So the female was on my side, but the guy counselor was for him. The problem was within me. But I didn't know it at the time. You know, I didn't think I was a problem. I thought he was the problem. And I never thought that a relationship could be any better, because growing up, I looked at my parents, you know, I looked at them fighting. So I thought, you know, well, fighting comes natural. I didn't know why I continued to have the desire to talk to other guys. You know, even when I was happy, I still felt like I was missing something, that I needed to continue to talk to other people to fulfill whatever was missing, you know. And even talking to other guys, it still wasn't fulfilled.
One day my wife was gone, she was at work, and I sit down with our girls, and that was probably one of the hardest days I've had in my life. We're sitting there in the living room on the couch with the girls and explaining to the girls, look, your mom and dad loves you very much, and we would do anything for y'all. But you know mom and dad are having problems. And the girls, believe it or not, your kids know when you're having marriage problems. I said, look, mom is doing stuff that she shouldn't be doing to dad. You know, and of course the girls asked, and I'm like, well, mom's just talking to other guys. And they were confused. Well, why would mom do that? I said, babies, I don't know. I wish I had an answer, but I don't.
I started crying, and my sister started crying, and I personally didn't know what to do. I was shaking, I was nervous.
And it's like I could feel the energy that my sister was kind of giving off, you know, the sadness and everything.
And I was like, Sierra, it's fine, just calm down. They're gonna be okay.
Told the girls, look, here soon, you know, the good thing is y'all are gonna have 2 bedrooms each, 2 TVs each. You know, I try to make it sound like it was gonna be a lot of fun for them. And they said, Dad, we don't want that. We want you and mom together.
So I heard about the marriage course, and I was like, I don't know. You know, I'll take a pamphlet, we'll see, no promises. So I showed it to my husband. He was like, okay. Yeah.
I was iffy at first because, you know, I had tried so much, and literally I had been going through this for so many years that every time I would let my guard down, it was like she would slap me in the face. You know, I would catch her talking to another guy after she swore up and down, after I had changed her phone number on her cell phone multiple times, you know, with her permission, of course, you know, because, I'm gonna change my phone number. And I changed her phone number, and within a month, she's doing it again. So we kind of sit down, we were looking at the you know, this brochure one day, and it was talking about the marriage course. So we decided to go ahead and go to it, check it out.
During the course, we're like, that's just gonna be a waste of time, whatever. It actually started growing our bond. You know, the course, the love therapy course, was on the backside, building a closer bond, building our relationship. And it wasn't something that, even going into it, we expected to happen. So the first changes that I really started seeing was I didn't have the need to contact other people or other guys. I felt like I needed to do more for my husband, to be the better wife, to be the better mom. And it just kept putting in things into practice, things that we learned through the course.
Before you put us in a room together and you locked the door, we were gonna kill each other. That was just the way it was. But now it was like we didn't want to separate from each other. It was like how it was when we first got married. The more we participated in the program, the more we did it, you know, I had started seeing a different side of my wife that I had never seen before. And it was a good side. You know, it was a side that I've always been looking for.
In September, we'll be married for 18 years. we continue to think about what we learned through the marriage course, through the love therapy school.
I've got the woman that I've always been looking for. You know, I've got a very beautiful wife. You know, my wife, she, not only is she my wife, but she's a good mother. And she's very strong, you know, strong at everything she does. So I would honestly have to say I love her more now than I did almost 18 years ago. And I wouldn't change nothing for the world. It was definitely worth for the love therapy to try it. I mean, what else do you have to lose? I mean, you know, try it, do the whole course, do what they say in the course to do, and I guarantee your marriage will change.
Well done to Jean and Christine, who managed to save their marriage, their family. I'm very happy for you guys, and I'm sure your children also appreciate that. And the real problem that we need to look at here under the surface, Cristiane, was that Christine, she would go and look for guys, you know, chat with guys on the phone, etc., because she was trying to fill a need that she had for attention. For some reason, she needed to feel the attention of other guys. So obviously, she probably could say, well, I need more attention from my husband, but that was deeper than that. That was a problem that needed to be dealt with at a root level inside of her.
Yeah, and you see this happening to many people. This is very common, more common than people talk about. Because you see the social networks these days, they promote this kind of behavior to get attention. And if you don't get a lot of likes, you don't get a lot of comments, you don't get a lot of followers, then you feel sad and you feel like you're not good enough. So people will do anything to get these things. What is that? That's a need of attention. That's a need that is unfortunately very bad for you. Because when you need attention, what are you going to do to get it? That's the problem. She actually betrayed her husband because of that need. You're going to do anything to fulfill that need. And you're still not going to be fulfilled because you're always going to need more. So it is a problem. The attention is not going to solve your problem. It's a deep problem. It's a problem, a spiritual problem. And Christine, only when Christine dealt with this spiritual problem, that's when she was free from it. So today, she doesn't need the attention anymore. And she feels satisfied with the attention that she gets from her husband, which is should be what people, married people.
Yeah, it's already unhealthy for a single person to have that kind of behavior, to need attention all the time, let alone for a married person, right? When you have your issues resolved inside you. We've all had, you know, situations in childhood, you know, when we could trace back to events that happened or things we didn't have that explain why sometimes we behave in the present the way we do. But you need to be aware of what these issues are and deal with them, resolve them inside of you. And like Cristiane said, sometimes the issue is even spiritual, because it's unexplainable, the behavior that some people have, wives or husbands have, behaviors that hurt each other, hurt their family, risk everything they've built for years. It doesn't make any sense. So it has to be dealt with spiritually and also with intelligence. You have to look inside yourself and see, why do I behave this way? Why is it so important for me? And if I know that this is destroying my life and my family, why do I keep doing it? And you need to get help for that. When you talk about attention, the attention that you have from yourself and the attention that you have from God, and we have attention from God, right? Jesus said, I will be with you every day of your life to the end of times. So we have attention from God. We have His eyes upon us every day. That attention should be enough for you. And when you are in a marriage, it's important that we point out the lesson here also, that you must not neglect your partner. You must not take your partner for granted and say, whether you're man or wife, husband or wife, you need to understand that your partner needs attention. That's one of the reasons why we get married, is because we have the attention, the exclusive attention of that person.
And we
for
talk
ourselves.
about this in our book, Marriage, Bulletproof Marriage. I had this problem. I had a lot of difficulty with getting my husband's attention. Although I didn't seek other people's attention, the lack of his attention got me feeling even worse about myself. And that's another way of showing the need of attention. But I dealt with it. I learned to deal with this. So we talk about this in the book, and we like to suggest that you read it too.
Yeah, make that investment in your marriage.
Did you know that over 50% of couples who get divorced regret not trying harder to save their marriage? No one gets married to later get a divorce, but sometimes it seems like there's no other option. Wait, you haven't tried everything. Bulletproof Marriage has already helped millions of couples all around the world to avoid separation. Even if one party isn't willing to change, or the relationship seems like a lost cause, give yourself this opportunity. Read this amazing book and shield your marriage against divorce. Buy the book on Amazon.com today.
And you can get the book through Amazon and other online stores as well, delivered to your home. Now, let's answer this question, Cristiane.
How do you know if you're ready to be in a relationship? And when is it the right time to approach a person you're interested in?
So, when do you know you're ready to be in a relationship? That's a question. That's a big question for singles, especially whether you've never been in one or you're out of a relationship, you're divorced and you're thinking of getting back in the game, as they say. How do you know you're ready to be in a relationship?
Well, first of all, are you okay with yourself? That's the first thing that you have to ask about yourself, because sometimes people, they're not okay, they are hurt, they are full of, past issues, hurt from other relationships, and they think that if they enter into another relationship, that relationship is going to heal their hurt, right? And that's not going to happen. You're going to hurt the other person as well, and you're going to get more hurt. So the first thing that you have to make sure is that you're fine. You're resolved. You understand what happened until here. The mistakes you've done, the things that you have to do differently in the next relationship. You are pretty good and okay with yourself. You don't need somebody like you're sad all the time. You're depressed and you just need to be in a relationship. When you're like that, then you're probably going to get into more trouble, because you're not okay. To enter into a relationship, you have to think like this: I'm going to add to this person's life. I'm not going to take away from him because I need it. No, I am so well, I'm so good with myself that I'm going to help you. I'm going to add to your life.
Yes, many people make the big mistake of wanting to enter a relationship so they could be happy. And that's the wrong motive, the wrong motivation. You need to think about entering into a relationship to make the other person happy. And guess what? Only a happy person can make another one happy. All right? If you're not happy with yourself alone, if you're not happy, if you're not okay alone without anybody, you're not ready to make anybody happy. You're not ready to make anyone happy in a relationship. So you need to stop and look at yourself, and if the answer is I'm not happy, if your answer is no, I am not happy, so don't go into a relationship. First, find out the reason why you're not happy with yourself, with your life, whether it is issues from past relationships. Maybe you're angry at all men in the world, right? The men are all the same, women are all the same. Maybe you are traumatized.
You blame your parents sometimes.
Yeah, you're angry. You're angry at people. You're angry at yourself for having made mistakes in the past and ruined your relationship. You're afraid of staying single and getting old and not finding anyone. So fear is not a good reason for you to get into a relationship. So whatever the reason for your unhappiness, you need to find out what that is, and you need to deal with that, resolve that. Then you'll be okay, you will be happy, you'll be fine. And that's when you're ready to enter a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay?
We could talk about how you can heal yourself in the next program. Because right now we have...
Yeah, time is up.
Yeah, we have to go.
We are coming to the end. We hope we left you some good tips and hints there. But until next week, we will stay here and look forward to our next program here. Follow us on Instagram at The Love School USA, and you could also tag us there with your funny videos during this lockdown. All right? Thank you. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.